Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic good day. Fantastic good day. You guys enjoyed that T125 video so much that we're doing another T125 game. The underrated tank that in the hands of a great player could just be fantastic. And I want to shout out this guy right away before his name disappears. G Taffen World from the M1RVL clan on the EU server. If you guys know this guy, when you're done watching this video, if you're impressed, send him a message and thank him for the fantastic game that he shared with us, okay? This, very smart. A very smart T125 game. Let's see him do it. Now, what does he have here? I'm just going to comment on his loadout. He has 35 shells of heat, okay? So he's a heat packer. He's got 5 armor piercing and 2 H, excuse me. So I mean, he's gonna spam heat like a motherfucker. Well, you know, hey, this is the world of tanks. He can afford it, and that's just the way he's gonna do it. So he moves into the city aggressively because it's a tier 10 game, but there's tier 9, so he's, you know, big boy tank. But there's a platoon. We have to rewind that just 1 second. Bear with me, because I was in third person mode and I want to see what he did there. Okay, put it in. Okay, that's in his mode. Sorry about that. I was just looking at the loadout. 3 KPZ-50Ts on the enemy team, a platoon. That looks dangerous. And E100 and a mouse. That looks like beefy. And he takes a shot and absorbs the shot in his tracks and is able to reload and take another shot. And the slow E100 just finally arrived. So, smart move so far. The E100 is, I'm up it. The E100 has just stopped. I don't know why he stopped there, but he did. And this guy's moved up aggressively on this angle. Now the E100 is pre-aimed at him, so he's not going to pull back. So E100 and mouse, lots of HP, lots of armor. A platoon of KPZ-50Ts that could easily win the central or a 1-2 line. Looks to me like it's unbalanced. This team has a platoon of GSOR tank. Like, please. Talk about underwhelming, right? So, once again, matchmaking from Le Mange the Merde Wargaming. Let's see how he does. Now, the heavy tanks have gone into the city. Is the E100 still? Still a Muppet. But he accidentally had his turret angled. And now he's aiming. Boom. A Muppet. Yeah, let's call it like it is. The E100 is a Muppet. So maybe there is skill-based matchmaking in this game. We have a very scary platoon of KPZ-50Ts, Yuri. How do we balance game? We put 2 Muppet heavy tanks platoon on same team. E100 and mouse. They can donate 6,000 HP. This guy's lucky. He's just bounced 750. That T-30 is probably pissed off, was probably aiming for the lower plate, and has shot Sigma'd into another location. Just as I predicted, guys. Just as I predicted, and he smacks the mouse, who is also, well, let's call it like it is, a Muppet. They're winning the 1-2 line. I think the enemy team, I believe, the MX-30B Charfouteur moved up, E50 is in the middle. I do not see the KPZ-50Ts. Have not been detected yet. But judging from they're losing by 3,000 HP, guys, and they're losing by 3 tanks, I would say the KPZs are B1, 2, 3 are in the center, sniping and taking. Now the T-30 hit the dirt. The T-30 is going to be raging, right? That's the second time he tried to poke out. He bounced the shot and then he hit the dirt. And the mouse is a Muppet. Anyone who plays a German super heavy. Oh, KPZ, look, pause it right there. KPZ spotted in the middle. Just like I said, either in the middle or over here. Those KPZs are making mincemeat of these enemies. As my guess. I have not seen this game. I have not seen the post-game stats. I just know that it is a very smart gameplay. Is the mouse still a Muppet? Yes. Anyone who plays a German super heavy should know that when you're not shooting, okay, if you're not shooting, You should never have your turret pointed at the enemy. That's your weak spot. Especially in this day and age when enemies fire heat. It's a flat 250 millimeters of armor. The guy's got 340 heat. Is it 340 or 330? 340 heat pen. So do all the Russian medium tanks. Some of the TDs have higher penetration on their premium rounds. If you're playing a German Super Heavy E100 or Maus, or any of them, but in Tier 10, E100 or Maus, you can't stare at the enemy when you're not shooting. You deserve to be farmed. And a lot of these players that do this really lower the bar. They really lower the average damage and performance of the E100 and Maus. And finally, the E100 was ready. He was pre-aimed there and ready. That's what the E100 has to do. He traded 750, but he did 750 and he took 385 in return. That's as good as it gets. This guy could have bounced. No, if the E100 did his 750 damage and was angled, the hull was angled, and as soon as after firing angled his turret, this guy might have bounced, right? So the E100 was like facing straight at him. You can't do that. Just an aside. And the average damage. He's trying to bait a shot here, guys. He's trying to get the E100 to shoot him and bounce so he can pull out. The kind of like the 3 mark level, or the average damage that the E100 and Maus do is much lower than it really should be. Those tanks are actually really good if you know what to do. And unfortunately, most people do not know what to do. Well, the GSOR tank, well, let's just say that's a sacrificial platoon that Wargaming has put. Well, that's not the platoon. That's the enemy team gets a GSOR tank? Yeah, they just get one. Notice that the platoon of 2 GSOR tanks on this team, they're both dead, right? Tier 9s. This is what happens with Wargaming's gifts. It's a free gift. Yeah, you're going to love it. It's a free gift. Oh, wow. Tier 9, free gift. Wow, Wargaming's so generous. You're going to get put in Tier 10 games. That tank's going to be so underwhelming in a game like this. And everyone gets it. I'm not talking... If you're a good player, you know, I take that back, partly. Obviously, the great players... I'm going to show a replay one day of GSOR tank doing 9,000 damage carrying in a Tier 10 game. Of course, right? You get a really good player playing it. He knows what he's doing. But the thing is, everyone gets one. So, I mean, some of these players driving around in GSOR tanks now like normally play Tier 3, right? And they have no idea what they're doing. It's the weekend, so they platoon. Let's take out that Tier 9 gift that we got, and they suck. And it destroys the... it doesn't destroy. I guess it balances. It balances things. I mean, the enemy team had the E100 and the Maus that had no idea what they were doing, playing super heavies. This team had 2 GSOR. So maybe Wargaming balances everything. Maybe game is balanced. Yuri. We balance game. No problem. And there's one of the KPZ 50Ts who surprised him, but took a hit in return. Are they all dead? No, all 3 of them are still alive. I would think those guys are going to be dangerous, but we'll check in the post-game stats, okay, guys? Now, do not get proxy spotted. This would be bad if the T-110E4... Gotcha. And the E-100 takes the stun damage. Nice. So one of the KPZs is gone. The other KPZ is running away. This Super Heavy has 3 marks on his barrel. He knows what he's doing. But he pulls out in front of a Conqueror, so I don't know if he really knows what he's doing. Not a Conqueror. What is that? A Contender. A Contender. Sorry. I thought it was a Conqueror. It's the new Contender. Is it really a Contender? He could have been a Contender. But he wasn't. That's the American, right? American Contender. You could have been a Contender. Let's leave some comments. Let me know. Do you think my assessment is correct? Because before the game even got going, I said the 2 GSOR platoon is a throwaway platoon here. As soon as I saw the E100 pull out, I knew, okay, the E100 mouse platoon are useless. And I thought that the KPZ's 50Ts would be formidable and they would need to take them seriously. And there you go. He took one in the ass from a KPZ. Let me know if my assessment... And this is what you got to do when you look at the matchmaking at the beginning of the game. You have to kind of... look at that. Another case. See? They're formidable, guys. I am correct. Right? These guys know what they're doing. You have to look at the matchmaking and kind of understand, well, these are the guys I have to worry about. These guys are useless. I'm not going to go help the GSOR tanks. They're pathetic. I can farm those super heavies after you see one shot, right? You got to know who to support, who to run away from, who to expect help from. Don't go help a platoon of GSOR tanks if they have no idea what they're doing. You go commit yourself, and then they don't help. They run. You go around the rock and say help, and they go, no, my new tank. I want to try and get the game without doing any repairs. You know, and then you're screwed. You have to assess things like that. And the KPZ, and the KPZ's taking him out, and he took him. Oh, see, that KPZ thought, okay, I'm going to sneak that guy and take him out, but he was able to take him. That was a huge kill. There's still one KPZ 50T alive of that platoon, and that guy, it was not a mistake. The KPZ did not make a mistake there taking that kill. This T-125 was just more sneaky. This guy's playing a very smart game. You see how he retreated, and now he's taking the ridge line, and he wants to shoot this KPZ. It's the most important target. He puts another shot into him. The KPZ takes out the object, and now is trying to get hull down and hanging on for dear life. So beautiful gameplay by the T-125. And let me know if you thought my assessment of the teams was pretty bang on. And now he tried to shoot on the move. And the KPZ, all he can do now is try his best to get a little bit more damage. He takes one out, and do not get hit by the T-123. Not T-120. The T-30 could kill. The KPZ gets another kill, and he doesn't have the gun depression. Oh! It could be close, guys. If he pokes too hard, too high, the T-30 could take him out. Now this KPZ 50T is thinking, why doesn't my stupid teammate in the T-30 do something? And the artillery stuns the KPZ. He's going to surprise him. And got him. And the T-30 does nothing. Because the T-30's a Muppet. We already decided that. He's hiding in the water. Oh, the platoon KPZ 50Ts almost squeaked out a win. Now that was a good game. So what do you think of my assessment? Let's just check here. And remember, if you know this guy, there's his in-game name. Send him a message. He's on the EU server, and let him know what a fantastic strategy he illustrated for us. Very smart T-125 battle, he says. He finished on top with 8,782 damage. And let's just see here. All right, let's just see. GSOR tank 0. GSOR tank 133. How many shots did the GSOR tank take? 3. He hit 2. So he was firing cheap HE probably. He hit 2 shells and did 133 damage. This guy fired his gun 0 times. So Muppets, I was correct. What about these two? The mouse. The mouse fired his gun 6 times, hit 5 and bounced. D100. The E100 actually did well. I was not correct on this. E100, well played. Well, I mean, relatively speaking. At least he fired 4 shots. He hit 4 with the 750 alpha gun. So he close to 3,000 damage. So well, good try. And the formidable platoon, look at that. They finished first and second. And then this guy was taken out fairly early. So I think my assessment of the battle was pretty much bang on. And you've got to assess the players. And guys, I have not watched you guys probably don't believe me. Oh, you already knew. No, I didn't know, right? I get the summary of the post-game stats and a little description, and I choose the games that, or Bob chooses which games are going to be featured. And then I watch them live, so you can see my reactions, and my commentary is live. And, how you try and work things out and navigate things and infer from what you see on the screen what's going to happen and what you should expect. You got to do that initial assessment of the teams and the matchmaking. And I think this guy did it really well. And let me know what you guys think. Okay? If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, give it a like, and leave a comment and all that, yada, yada, yada. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.